against my warnings, they went ahead and deeded the property from the trust to the individual, but she already owns a home as a primary residence. The change of ownership caused, I think it was an $8,000 increase on the property taxes. And then they said, whoops, we can't afford this. We did not want this property tax bill to raise this high. So they came back to me and asked me if I could fix it. And
Often.
in fact, whenever we receive a preliminary title report on a transaction, we'll look at the chain of title and we're constantly cleaning it up. And for the most part, the people that do make the mistakes or do things incorrectly, I hate to say it, are attorneys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I have a very special guest today. My wife actually visited me as a surprise today. So we're doing an impromptu little spot. What you don't know about her, maybe, and maybe some of you do, is she's an escrow officer. She's not just any escrow officer. She owns her own independent escrow called On Demand Escrow. She's been at it for 20 years. Both her and I got in the industry when we were 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And we got thrown to the wolves, which is the best way to learn, right? There's no way to do it other than to jump in. So we did our thing for 20 years now. So now I run a branch and have a partner in Idaho and a bunch of salespeople. And my wife owns her own independent escrow company. And what's different about her is because she started at 20 and she was working for her parents' company for most of those years, she was the escrow officer, escrow manager, and ran a bunch of volume, uniquely so. So like when she says she's been in it for 20 years, that means she's done thousands of transactions. So she's got unique experience. You know, you hear some of the old timers saying, I've been in the business for 30 years. But then you find out they've done nothing, right? They've done no volume. They have very little in the way of experience. Cue the eye roll. Ugh. Right? So when Lorraine says she has 20 years of experience, guess what? That means actual experience, not pretend made up ego driven experience. And she'll never say, I've been in the business for day. You know who you are. God, I can't stand it when people say, oh.
Well, that was a very nice intro. I guess you like me. Thank you.
I like you and I love you. All right, so we see this all the time, and people screw this up. Families who own property, and then they make the decision to themselves. They say, hey, wouldn't it be great if we just screwed up our title?
Yes.
Let's just start doing random stuff. Can I say shit? Let's just start doing random shit with our title and completely destroy our situation. How about that? Don't we want the assessor to send us a nasty letter saying, by the way, because you just did that, we're going to reassess your property and you're going to owe tens of thousands of dollars more every year, or at least thousands, right? So this is a big problem. My wife sees it all the time. So, maybe tell a cautionary tale and tell them what not to do after that.
I'll give an example. So we have a mom and dad who own a property and have for 10 years. It's vested in their trust. Well, their daughter says, hey, I want my inheritance. I want this property early. I don't want to wait until it's time where the successor trustee at a certain point of the trust, deeds the property to me or grants the property to me. I want it in my name now. So against my warnings, they went ahead and deeded the property from the trust to the individual, but she already owns a home as a primary residence. So this was not considered the parent to child on a primary, and they reassessed the taxes.
We're talking about Prop 19 here, right?
Yeah.
Right? Because again, if you're inheriting a property, but you don't own it or you're not living in it as a primary, that's a big deal. That was a big change with Prop 19. Mm-hmm. We're not tax experts. Call the county. Just before you do anything, call the county.
Yes.
Go ahead and finish your story.
In fact, I even gave them the ownership change department and tax assessor phone numbers to Orange County so that they could call and make sure this is the transfer they wanted, but nobody called. So the property was transferred.
I want to have my cake and I want to eat it too. Man.
Oh my God.
These kids, man. Give me my money.
Give me my house. So the change of ownership caused, I think it was an $8,000 increase on the property taxes. And then they said, whoops, we can't afford this. We did not want this property tax bill to raise this high. So they came back to me and asked me if I could fix it.
Tail between her legs.
So
not you, them.
So we are rescission deed. So I have done this quite a few times successfully. It's not always guaranteed because you need the county to actually accept the rescission deed. But it's basically a deed that you record saying, whoops, just kidding. We deeded this property in error. Can we revert it back? And hopefully they accept it and switch
So
the tax.
she is going to clean up their mess, right? How often do you find yourself doing that, cleaning up other people's messes when they think they know what they're doing, handling titles, chains of title, and dealing with the county of Orange or LA or whatever?
Often. In fact, whenever we receive a preliminary title report on a transaction, we'll look at the chain of title and we're constantly cleaning it up. And for the most part, the people that do make the mistakes or do things incorrectly, I hate to say it, are attorneys.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Not only are attorneys the most overpaid goofballs on planet Earth, I'm sure there's some good ones, don't take this personally, but my wife spends a lot of her time cleaning up attorneys' messes. Mm-hmm. So just because they have the title attorney doesn't make them smart, right? I could go on that, but I'll shut up.
I can give you a whole other example right now.
We'll be quiet. We don't want to piss too many people off. Oh, good Lord. So do you want to pay your attorney $1,000 an hour to screw up your title? Or would you like to go to my wife? And believe me, she won't charge you $1,000 an hour, and she'll do it right. So with any questions, well, I like staring at you on the screen. You're so pretty.
Love you.
That's my wife. I'm so proud. Anyway, thanks for listening. You got some expert advice today. I love you, honey. Thank you for.
I love you too.
Letting me force you do this.
Yeah, you did force me.
Letting me force you to do this. It's still morning.